tabletop role-playing podcast made for people who still show up on time despite daylight savings time.
Which is yours today, yes?
It is mine. It is mine. I have been given an extra hour, which means
Ooh.
absolutely fuck all.
My YouTube notification just went off to let me know that Too Legit to Crit is live, by the way. That's what that little horn was.
I'm glad that it tells you.
It does. It does. Yeah, so daily savings time is a bitch, yeah?
It's just it's a weird holdout from an old age. And
because didn't it have something to do with the farmers? Like the farmers needed more time to get their
I think it was to save money on candles or some shit like that. That's what
What?
I was always told. Yeah, because back in the day they didn't use it was candles. So I was like,
I
okay,
was told it
so
was a farmer thing.
Hey.
See, I feel like no matter where you're from, like
they're gonna tell you some other bullshit. What is the fucking point?
There's no
To be
point to
honest,
it.
we should do away with it. We should do away with time zones.
Yes.
Just completely do away with time zones. They're completely fucking irrelevant.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That would
if
be
I'm
so
getting
weird.
up
Like
at
4 p.m. like 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's like pitch dark. Like,
but you will get used to that. You will get used
true.
to it's 1 p.m. past my bedtime, and off you fucking pop. You don't have to we wouldn't have this fucking problem of kind of going, oh, what time is it in your part of the world? It's a fucking man-made concept, the measurement of it. So why do we
joking about this? We're joking about this, but do you realize how fucking badass of like a world building concept that is?
I think it's a cool concept.
I like it actually.
I think it is a cool concept. So, midnight in different sort of places, and it wouldn't be midnight everywhere. It'd be midnight in one part of the world.
Yeah.
But midnight in somewhere else would be like 4
p.m. I feel like that needs to be done.
I think it needs to be done.
I am here for that vibe. I like it.
But I don't want it in my fantasy world. I want it in my real fucking world.
John wants it now.
I want it now. I want it fucking here. I don't want to waste any more fucking time talking to people in America kind of going, right, shall we try schedule something?
Oh my God.
What time is it where you are?
I was just talking to our dear friend Shannon about that. I was like, you want to play a game? She's like, yeah, you want to play a game? Like, yeah, when do you want to play a game? And we were both like, ooh.
It's like, Sam. Hi, Sam. Sam over in the chat has put, asked me of how China is on Beijing time. Fun fact, Spain is actually on the wrong time zone as well.
What is Spain on?
Spain is on, I think it's Central European. Whereas if you look at where it's located, it should be on GMT. And the reason for that is a very, very fucking dark one.
Oh.
It is. Yeah, it's because the once dictator of Spain, massive bellend, he wanted to cozy up to the Nazi regime. So to do that, he basically changed the time zone Spain was in. It's that fucked up.
That's fucked up. But okay, again, like, do you realize how many fucking cool like game plot twists or story hooks that we could get just from history that probably not a lot of people would know? Like, you could drop some shit on them and people are like, whoa, that's messed up. I'm like, oh, that's history, but you don't need to know that.
Actually really happened. There was this evil bard that really liked baby oil.
Oh my God, you did not.
And then boom.
He's not a bard. He's not a bard.
These ideas come to me. I don't know where I get the inspiration from.
Cocaine.
Are you implying I do cocaine? I do not touch cocaine.
I'm not implying. I'm flat out saying it.
I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I don't smoke. I
That's
don't
amazing.
Drink.
Congrats. Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah. The most destructive thing I do is probably takeout food and fizzy drinks.
Yeah, the most destructive, this is technically water. The most destructive thing I do is the copious amounts of Mexican food I shoved in my face last night.
I did that the other day. Like Taco Bell here, we're doing like a meal for two. Like 18. It's like challenge accepted.
Our Wendy's. I was scrolling through and we had game night and I was like, they have 40 chicken nuggets. 40 chicken nuggets for $20. And I looked at Connell. I was like, you're helping me eat these, right? Like, because you don't
Lightweight.
not buy 40 chicken. Listen, if I buy 40 chicken nuggets, I'm passing out asleep on the sofa and I'm missing game, and I'm not missing game.
Like a lot of times when I spend, especially because the delivery services, you've got a minimum spend.
Yeah.
So I will kind of justify it and kind of go, right, I'm going to get a 19-inch pizza, but that's going to last me like 2 to 3 days.
No,
You know,
won't.
and it normally does. This Taco Bell fucking didn't. It was like, nope, I'll have 2 burritos, please.
Oh my god. And I had like authentic Mexican last night, and it was so good. It's like the only actual authentic Mexican, I think, for like an hour, like drive either direction. But I didn't get a burrito, and now I want a burrito. And you said burrito, and that's all I can think about.
I'm gonna pepper this entire episode with Tex-Mex references just to make you hungry.
Stop. Tap of the empanada. Oh my god, they're empanadas.
So should we talk about gaming? We haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. You have been you've been away. We've been changing our times, and everything kind of got all skew with. So what have you been doing gaming wise?
Well, gaming wise, I've been doing a lot of things. I don't know what I'm playing tonight. And that's what's fun, is that from now on, since we're doing this on Sundays, it's like mystery. What are we doing tonight? I bribed Connell. Half the reason our schedule got all combobulated is one of our table GMs left for vacation, and it was my turn to run, but I was going to be down half my players, but the other players still want to play, and they're like, hey, Atlas, please do a one-shot of Household. I'm going, I'm not ready, but yeah, okay, let's do this. So we did the one-shot of Household. Amazing. It was so much fun. Like, the mechanics are fun. They are harder than you think they're going to be, though, because it's one of those things where it's just different. Not hard like, oh, it's hard to understand. It's just your brain isn't programmed that way.
Yeah.
Like most pool systems that I've played or I've heard people playing, it's okay, roll a certain amount and you add it up, or roll a certain amount and you're trying to get under or over. And this is roll your dice, and however many matches you get is what kind of success you have.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with the numbers. It's just matching. And I'm like, okay. So my brain wanted to be like, oh, you got 4 or 5s. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're 5s. Like, it's just how many of them are there. So it was a lot of fun. It was great. We had a bit of a heist, and it was just chaos. It was wonderful, wonderful chaos. It was good. It was fun. And then tonight we're playing something, because since I did the one shot of Household, I said, fine, I'll do it, but Connell has to run a Halloween game tonight.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. So we don't know what we're doing tonight. And Sam, yes, we did. We had a surprise Mutants and Masterminds game. We had our art stream. I am singular. I need to get better at that. I did my art stream on Saturday, and Connell messages me, and it's me, Sam, and Rob, right? And Connell messages me on the side. He goes, hey, can I hijack the stream? And I was like, depends. What do you want to hijack it for? And he's like, let's do Mutants and Masterminds. I'm like, yes. Why are you even asking me? So like midstream, he's like, all right, everybody got time for a quick game. And we played a fantastic game of a demon in the subway. And Sam decided to read ancient Latin text off of paper and release some spirit that, like, yeah, way to go. Nat 1, Sam. Beautiful. And then our friend Joe popped in. Unexpected. We haven't seen him in like months, right? And we were like, oh yeah, Joe. Yeah. And hands down the best surprise character I think I've ever encountered. Just Joe. Just average Joe. Like it was fabulous. It was so much fun. It was just a good time.
Good. I'm glad you guys had fun. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Wish I'd have been there, but when was this? This was last Saturday, yeah?
Yes.
Yesterday.
No.
The previous one.
I
was with the kids.
Yeah, because you were like, oh, I'm gonna miss it. Wish I was there, guys. I'm like, yeah, I miss you too. And then game, I'm like, oh, you really that sucks.
But yeah, I'm glad you guys had fun. I kind of kept up. I kind of mentioned last week that I'd done a session 0 for Impossible Landscapes.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Session 0 went amazing, and we've actually started playing it now. And it's just finally I'm getting to play that. You got an amazing group of characters. They're all fucking bent in one way or another.
Oh.
We got a mob middle management. We've got a mob enforcer. We've got a thief, and we've got a con man. Not your average Delta Green.
No, that seems different than what I normally hear from you with that.
But yeah, it is good, and we've started playing, and they've already started encountering the surreal weirdness of the McAllister building. So it's going to be fucking phenomenal. What
Yeah.
else? We did Kingmaker yesterday, where we started getting into the kingdom building rules and all that. Holy
Mhm.
shit, that's another game. It's a game within a game,
Oh.
like completely. But
Hmm.
we started hammering that out. I did the Darkest House last week,
Oh, that was
GM
great.
by Mistress Winter, for Tabletop Tailspinners Network, which was so much fun. I'll probably talk about that in a bit because it kind of touches on the topic that I've got prepared.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, just lots of games. Creating the Nerdverse, we did some more Blades in the Dark, where the Rebel Claws were back. This time we added Couch because obviously Justin is away doing his thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks, solid gaming.
Good. That's fantastic. That's good to hear. Yeah, it's been a long 2 weeks, but a good 2 weeks. Like it was nice. I actually got to
Good.
step away from everything a little bit. Like the schedule thing was a nightmare. Work is hard. Man, I thought working till 8 p.m. would be fine. It is not. My brain just is like
Hmm.
that 6 o'clock hits. And I'm going, okay, I should be done. Like, why are we still here?
Yeah, yeah,
But
it does get like that when
yeah.
your entire sort of schedule shifts. It takes you a good
Yeah.
couple of weeks to kind of get used to everything.
Yes, it does. Yes. But that being said, oddly enough, it's created like this open floodgates of creative space in the
Hmm.
mornings, which is when I'm actually like more functional is in the mornings. So my game planning and my art has like been buku and crazy, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I have a lot of good fun game stuff planned. So
Cool. Do you care to illuminate us with anything? Or
um
to tease us?
you ever heard of Curseborn?
No, I have not actually. Talk
You
to me
have
about
not.
Curseborn.
Oh my god. Okay, so I'm the wrong person to talk about Curseborn. It is in Kickstarter, or it's about to hit Kickstarter. Um, from what I understand, it's the love child. I'm gonna get this wrong. I want to say White Wolf, but I think that's wrong. But it's the love child of like all those old systems. It's like supernatural paranormal creatures in modern day. Yeah, look it up. Look it up. But everybody that's ever talked about it is like of the olden days. They're the ones that played like the original vampire and like werewolf and mage and like all that stuff. They're like, this is like the love child of like the new generation of it. And it looks so good. It looks so good.
Hmm.
There we go. Spiritual successor to World of Darkness. Thank you, Connell. Uh, it was
So
something like
Connell
that.
has just joined in the chat. Hey Connell, how's it going?
But yeah, it looks so good. And thank you. That Connell is planning on playing that for our home game at some point. But I was fangirling about it with Shannon. And so now Shannon and I are like, hang up, hang on a minute. Should we do this? Like, we should do this. So there's been like inkling at that in the beginning, but it looks phenomenal. There's actually, if you scroll all the way down, there's a quiz you can take. Oh, Sam, this is the quiz, by the way, that we were telling you to take. And it tells you like what creature you are based off of your personality. And I got a creature that I was like, well, that sounds lame. And then I looked it up. I'm like, okay, it's actually pretty baller. So check out Curseborn. It looks so cool. And for me, like, I love the like 80s, 90s grungy paranormal vibes of just media in general.
Yeah.
So when I saw this, I was like, this makes me happy. This is nice.
No, I mean, because I know Connell definitely likes those older editions
Hmm.
of World of Darkness. So I mean, that probably fits right into his
Yeah.
wheelhouse.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. But there's household. I'm looking into some other things, but I can't talk about it yet.
Interesting. No, fair enough. Same here. I've got a couple of things that I'm wanting that I've been wanting to do for some time, but only now have I encountered a couple of people where it's like, oh, I could use you for this, and
Yeah, and that's the weird thing is that like my schedule is bonkers now because of work, but also because of that, I now have all these opportunities opening up where I'm going, oh,
mm,
maybe this plays out in the long run. Okay.
yeah, yeah, same here, and making connections
Yeah.
and just feeding off the people in this community and speaking to them and just coming up with these.
That sounded slightly malicious. Feeding off the people in this community, just suck them dry. Like,
I don't mind a bit of sucking dry. See, I can always make things work.
Right?
I can always make
you
them
can.
work.
It's a gift. It is.
It is. It's a gift and a curse, really. It is.
Oh, sun went down. No, I just want to play games. Like, I just want to play games and have fun and meet people and like have a good time. That's all I want.
Yeah. No, I mean, same here. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
And it provides me with the respite I need.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest, this week has not been the greatest week for me.
Oh.
But having these games, having these like going to our friend Chris's on Wednesday with Couch and with Daryl and just playing Impossible Landscapes when I'd had some bad news the day before. It was like I just needed this. I needed this moment just to kind of focus on this and have laugh and crack jokes, be wildly inappropriate, and play a game that is meant to be horror but is becoming more and more slapstick by the day. But it is, it's what you need. It's what we need. And that's why it takes priority over recording. It takes priority over everything. Gaming comes first.
Absolutely. And that's the thing too, is that like I love the community that I found in like mainly Threads. That's kind of where I hang out. Because it's everybody's trying to make something of themselves and be professional about it. And I love that. But like at the base core of it, everybody's a gamer of some sort. Like, Sammy's just, been playing with us for the last month, I think. She's a gamer now. She plays. Like, and it's one of those things where we all have that thing in common where we enjoy playing the game. And being able to surround yourself with people like that and, like you said, feed off of each other.
But it is.
But like it's such a good feeling. It is a good feeling. It's good. It's healthy. But we all need it.
Speaking of Threads, the first topic I kind of wanted to talk to you tonight. We are kind of getting to the spooky season, so I thought about sort of traditions that you may have or superstitions, as it were, when it comes to gaming. So have you got any that you can mention?
I do. That I can mention. Yeah, I have a few I can't mention, but I do have a few that I can.
Yeah, you just I won't say it.
You were thinking it. So
you roll dice with your finger blasting hand.
Can neither confirm nor deny. No, these little suckers right here. I
thought you were showing me your fingers.
No. No. I may never roll this dice. I may never, and it may not even be this dice, but this set was my very, very first set that I bought for a character. Like, so I have a dice from that set with me no matter what. So that's like a more sentimental one. The raging one is that before every game, I'll take my whatever dice it is that I'm rolling in the game and I roll it. And if it's a high level, or if it's not even like, so for D&D, for D20, if the 20, if it's a successful roll, it's a successful roll, I refuse to use that dice and I get a different pair of dice because if I roll in game with that successful dice, my rolls will be shit the rest of the night.
That's interesting.
So if it's just a average to low roll, I'll keep the set and I'll play with it. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Connell in the chat has just put one that I do as well. It's when you're rolling dice, I have to have them resting with the highest number up. So if I get my D20 now and I roll it, once I finish my roll, I will just make sure that I change it as I'm doing now to where the 20 is, and that's where it'll face. And then when I pick it up again, I roll it and then I'll do it again. That is just a habit thing.
Carlos says they need to charge.
I do. Yeah, I think they do. See, another one I have is I've got different stashes of dice depending on the game.
Okay, that's fair.
So when I'm playing like when I'm playing here in front of the camera,
Mhm.
I've kind of got my trusty dice box. I've
Yeah.
got the dice that my kids got me, and I've got my like my big dice box as well. But
Yep.
if I go play Kingmaker,
hmm
I use my Cryptic Crits
You
dice.
love my cryptic crits dice.
If I play Fabula Ultima, I've got a dice caddy. If I
Ah,
play Delta Green, I've got another stash round at our friend Chris's. So I never use the same dice for the same game.
that's interesting.
For a
I
different game,
don't.
sorry.
I have like a chest of dice with sets in it that like I'll variate through. These are my metal. Like I keep all my metal dice in like one, and I keep my household dice now in a really pretty like holographic cup. Or iridescent holographic, and then like my horde dice, I've got this little like dice tray of this dragon around it, and that's my Cthulhu and my crits dice. These guys, see, voila.
Yeah. Yeah, your Cryptic Crit dice are nice. I
They're
like them.
so nice. Like I keep wanting to buy another set, but I don't. Okay, I keep wanting to buy another set, but I don't want this set to feel like I don't love them anymore. And that's what I was gonna say about like I can't move my dice to face up because then I feel like I'm forcing them to be a number they don't want to be, and then they're gonna get pissed at me, and then they're gonna roll bad because I made them be high. Like I give inanimate objects emotions, and I shouldn't.
No, that's a certain inanimate objects should have emotions because the stories they could tell.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm creating problems for myself.
So I posed that question in threads as well. So I do have a few
hit me.
responses. Okay, let's have a look once it loads. This one is from Eric over at Crossing the Nerdverse. He says, I always switch out dice if I get a lot of bad rolls. I also travel and game with a lot of different dice for this reason. So do you think if you're having like a cold night, do you think it's because of the dice? Or do you think it is just because of, well, you?
It depends because it's been both. Because there are days where I'm like, I am rolling shit. And there are days where I'm like, this dice can go to hell. I think it really depends on the vibe. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't normally switch out dice.
I have. I was totally against it. Like, that's dumb. There shouldn't be dice jail. The dice isn't gonna make a difference. And then one day I was rolling bad enough for long enough that I was like, it's one of my friends, I think it was Scott, was like, here, try this one. And I rolled with his dice. Perfectly fine. I was like, okay.
I honestly, I think I used to, but then when I started playing online a lot more often with digital dice rollers where you can't swap them out.
Oh yeah.
I just kind of untrained myself to think that way. So if I'm rolling like shit, it's like, yep, I'm cold tonight, guys. It's not working.
What gods have I pissed off? Release the universe.
It does work in my favor because if I'm playing my Abomination Vaults game and I'm rolling like shit, my players get scared because they know that is going to turn, and it turns so fucking drastically. The universe balances itself out, and that's when I start back-to-back natural 20 in. So the moment I start rolling like shit, they're going, oh, for fuck's sake. Let's save our hero points.
Save our hero points. We're gonna need them. What is Connell saying in chat? Oh, yeah. So if he's about to do something bad at or just off the cuff nonsense, he says, I got this, and he rolls amazing. Connell has this thing, and it pisses me off. We'll be like, only when he's DMing. It only happens if he's DMing. If he's playing, doesn't work. But if he's DMing and us players want to try something crazy and we're rolling, we're like, we have our physical dice, we've got them in our hands, or we have our digital dice on our phones and we're about to push the button, Connell will suddenly go, that one. And far more than it should, it happens. It's gotten to the point we start throwing shit at him before we start rolling our dice, or like he'll go to open his mouth like that, like don't. Like it's.
And I do something similar, but instead of that, I'll say something like, "I believe in you. You're gonna do this," and on that one.
Okay, note to self. John, don't believe in me.
It's like you got this. You got this. I believe in it. When I'm GMing, it's so fucking funny.
Works.
But yeah, I mean, I did have something else. Kind of leaning on something that Connell said. where it says he's about to try some bullshit like something I'm bad at or just off the cuff nonsense, and I'll say I got this. He rolls amazing. Again, I'm the opposite. At one point, it was I stopped describing what my character would do before I rolled, because I would kind of come up with this really elaborate, and then I run and I do a backflip and I cut them in twain with my sword, and that's when I'd fuck it, and it'd be like,
No, you don't. The amount of times I've done that to my players. All right, so I want to do this and this and this, and I'm like, no, you don't. Sorry, like, but you don't.
I can't. I've got to do it after the roll. The whole fucking Batman thing I did where they jumped off a fucking roof.
Yeah, that was good.
Mother of fucker. It's like, it serves me right for rolling when I didn't need to.
Yeah.
All right, so we got another one. Let's have a look.
Let's
see what else we got. Okay, so Curly Insane Guy.
Curly
says, I like to set mine to the lowest, but it's not really superstition for me. It just upsets my superstitious friends. I can agree with that.
That's pretty fantastic.
I can agree with that.
That's good. That's really good. I'm not gonna lie. I am that person in all good fun. If it genuinely upsets my friends, I don't do it. But if it's like a little thing, like they'll have something in a line on the table, they'll have their dice in a line, I'll move their dice just slightly out of line. Like,
oh yeah. I mean, I don't really touch I don't touch other people's dice.
Oh, interesting.
And they don't touch mine.
I don't really care if people touch my dice. Don't pick them up. Like, I won't pick up other people's dice. I won't roll other people's dice, but I'll touch them. Like,
unless someone goes, hey, check these out, and hands me the dice, fine.
Oh.
But I won't like just and I feel like that's a fucking invasion right there.
That's hilarious.
Someone goes and grabs my dice without my fucking permission, then may as well have grabbed my crotch.
Yeah, no, you should not grab other people's dice or other people's crotches, but like, this is the only time that I boop the dice is like if they're right next to me, their dice are on the table to the point that the dice are in front of me, and then I'm like, it's in my playing space, it's fair game. Boop.
Connell in the chat has put that it is kind of gamer etiquette, and he's 100% right. It is gamer etiquette, and don't touch my character sheet.
Yeah, he does not like people touching his character sheet.
Nor should he.
I don't think I've ever had to worry about that. Like, nobody touches my character sheet. Like, that's not a thing. The closest thing I got to that was we were playing at a table where the player, not the character they were playing, but the player was angry that they weren't, I guess, outing a secret in game. So they went through the character sheets and they looked at everyone's character sheets and all the secrets on the character sheets and stuff. And for me, like, that is so far in the wrong that I'm just like, excuse me? Like,
no, that's toxic.
Oh yeah, no, they're gone. But I was just like, I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, you can't even like play the game. Like, what do you? And it was also that at the end of the day, they could go like, oh, I knew it. I told you, I knew it. And it's like, yeah, because you looked at people's sheets. Like, don't look at people's sheets unless they're like, again, look how cool my note taking.
There is, I mean, again, this has gone like from superstition, but I think they all kind of fit within the same sort of bag, because a lot of superstitions are there for a reason. They're not there just because of bad juju.
Right.
You know, don't walk under a ladder. There's a practical fucking reason to not walk under a ladder. So it's a similar thing. So it is kind of like an etiquette sort of thing. Don't concern yourself with other people's characters unless offered that information. 100% now. Now, we've also got the counseling DM who has put, got to roll the d20 before session start to see which ones are rolling high.
Yeah, see, that's if they roll high, I don't play with them. Like, no.
No, again, because I think it's me as opposed to the dice.
I don't know.
Again, that could be the casino worker in me.
Probably.
You know,
Probably.
if on a roulette table someone's hitting the same number, they'll swap out the dealers. They won't change the ball.
That's
So
true. That is
so
true.
for me, it's if
Meanwhile, I have my dice with emotions, so it's obviously the dice, not me.
so if I'm rolling low, it's me. I'm the problem. So I have to modify my roll. I have to roll at a different speed or from a different height or something like that. That's kind of the way my mind works.
I think the most bullshit roll I ever did was I rolled my dice for far too long, hit the table far too hard. The dice bounced off the table into the DM's kitchen, and we all, because it was one of those rolls where like the game depended on this roll. We all walked into the kitchen, and it was like on the ledge of the staircase going into the basement, and it was a nat 20. And I was like, that was the most bullshit victorious roll I think I'd ever roll. It was like, what are the odds? What are the odds? It was awesome.
But then I'd kind of has to be on the table. Sorry.
Yeah, I know, and that's what most people do. But it was so epic that he was like, "No, we're counting that."
Connell in chat has written, if we want to get into ritual, he has to be in a room by himself for a few minutes to mentally prepare for the game. That's fine.
He does.
Yeah, that. I mean, a lot of these things I do as well. I'll take a minute. And I will kind of visualize the game and visualize the sort of beats that I want to hit and how I'm going to hit them.
Yeah.
Before I start the game.
I just have to be fed. Like I do mentally prepare myself before game, but like a hungry Atlas is not a good thing. And
no, that's fair, I don't snacks. I mean, obviously I eat a lot of fucking snacks.
Right. Well, no, I mean, like when I'm playing a game snacks are fine. Like when I'm DMing, I have to like full meal feed myself before I run. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's just because like the energy level or the stress level. I don't know, but like,
well, if you're any, I mean, I would hazard a guess and say probably when you're GMing, you don't snack as much. Because your mind is kind of constantly.
Mine's constantly going. My mouth is constantly going. I can't be like, hey, you turn the corner, nom nom nom, and then you see nom nom nom. Kind of kills the vibe a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah, Atlas used to always see me in the room and be like, "What are you doing?" Again, it's a fair thing.
To be fair, I didn't know that's what he did, and usually he has his phone out. So it would be like we're all hanging out, chilling, talking, everything's fine, and then suddenly Connell's gone, and I'm like, where did he go? And he's not in the kitchen, he's not in the bathroom. I stick my head around the corner, and he's got his phone out on his bed, and he sits on the edge of his bed. I thought like something horrible was happening. The first time I saw him do it, I was like, are you okay? Like,
what if I'm sorry, but what if he's fucking masturbating?
I mean, close the door then.
Well, it's like, excuse me, do you mind?
But now that I know that's what he does, like I don't even. It doesn't bother me.
I'll be out when I finish.
And then that's why I never touch his dice.
that is the superstition.
Gotta
get those nice and sticky.
Yeah. No.
That did feel wrong because it was the dice that my kids bought me, so that felt
oh my god, Dad!
That felt horrible. It really
did. It should.
Some jokes are not good, kids.
Oh, speaking of which, I really want to play. Kids on Bikes just had that new expansion drop. What was that? It's about to or maybe it just did. Oh, hang on.
We need to. Okay, this feels like a Google. This feels like Kids on Bikes.
Is it the broomsticks one?
That was been out a while though.
Okay, so then it's the Capes
Kids,
one. There's
Kids on Brooms. Yeah, Kids on Brooms has been out. Kids on Brooms has been out for a while.
I felt like something was coming out. Maybe it was I don't know. Maybe not. I could be losing my shit.
Kids on Bikes is fun though.
I haven't played it yet because like I don't want to buy it before knowing more about it, and B, everybody that I've talked to is like, it's so much fun, but nobody can tell me how the actual gameplay works.
Okay, so the gameplay is quite simple. Okay. You've got stats. Each stat is represented by a dice. So your strongest stat is a D12. then you're like everything else kind of goes down. D10s,
Okay.
D. So your weakest stat obviously is a D4. So if you
Oh.
roll, it's a kind of a fail forward sort of thing. So
Mhm.
it's not a case of, oh, you fail, fuck off, and nothing happens. If you
Right.
roll and you fail, something happens, something bad happens normally. But every time you fail, you get I think it's called a courage, or you get a metagaming economy sort of token, which
Okay.
then you can use 1 for 1 to improve your dice scores.
Interesting. Okay, because like the last two people that I've talked to, they're talking about how fun kids on bikes was. I'm like, cool. What's like the rolling mechanic? What's the game behind it? And they're like, well, there's not really like literally nobody could tell me that. What you just said to me, nobody could tell me. And I'm like, there has to be gaming in
It's
it. Like I
there
understand it's
is
more
it is
RPG heavy. I get that, but like there has to be some sort of game attached
yeah
to
yeah
it.
yeah there is there's
Gotcha. That
and
sounds cool.
obviously every kid has not necessarily an ability, but
Hmm.
they do have a boon or a trait which helps them when you're rolling against this, or when you're rolling in these
That
circumstances.
sounds
You
so
can
much
add a
fun.
+1 or you can add a +2. So
Yeah.
it's not just a case of, it's not like an OSR game where everything's very much as is. There is some
Right.
nuance to it,
Yeah.
not a massive amount. It's, don't expect D&D, don't expect
Well,
Pathfinder.
no. Yeah.
It is very much a narrative sort of
Yeah. I want
game.
to try it. I want to try it, but
it, it's good
yeah.
if you want to see how to. Oh no, we never recorded it. Fuck.
Yeah. I
Sorry,
know. I know. You
we
played
probably
it, but you didn't record it.
yeah, we didn't record it. I was just about to go, hey guys, if you want to see how kids on bikes play, but yeah, we
Right?
never did.
He's about to do that shameless that was like household. I was gonna try and explain to people how it runs, and I was like, yeah, we just played it. Never mind, that was at my home table. I will be playing that actually. We will be plugging in games on Saturdays for that. Uh
Yeah,
and
yeah. I
similar
mean,
thing, like it's very there are mechanics. Like the rolling is very important, but it's so funny because like your stature in society is far more important than if you can hit something with a stick. Like, and it's
which I
I
I
love.
do kind of appreciate those mechanics, and I was
Yeah.
having a massive in-depth conversation on Saturday with one of the Pathfinder Lodge sort of members
Hmm.
about why I don't like it anymore.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to go into that because I feel like I've done it to death. But there is a game still has to be a game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I
Absolutely.
don't, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Not everything has to be gamified.
Yeah.
And prime example for me was Daggerheart, where they've got
Mm.
traits, and one of the players was really struggling with that because it was, well, there's no trigger, there's no circumstance as to when I can
Oh
apply this, and the GM's going, you tell me the circumstance, you tell me,
yeah.
how you think this would apply, convince me,
Yeah.
lay down your argument, and I will tell you yes or no. And it's the same with
Yeah.
like Blades in the Dark. The player
That's yeah.
chooses what to roll.
Hmm.
But it has to be okay. So you want to roll prowl? Why do you want to roll prowl?
Hmm.
Because of this. And 9 times out of 10, the
Yeah.
player sees it in a very different way to you as the GM.
And that's what I love about Household is they do a similar thing where there's fields. There's 4 fields because there's 4 suits in a deck, right? And in those fields are different skills, and you can mix and match them. You pick one field and one skill, and that's what you roll. And you roll according to how many suits in that deck you have, and that's you try to get matches. And anyways, gonna get into that later. But the players kind of tell me what it like. Obviously, as the GM, I'll be like, "Hey, roll me this," because I need to find out if you know this one thing that I like that's specifically in the game. But 9 times out of 10, I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna let you know you're gonna roll what would be known as perception roll. You tell me what you want to use as your perception, though." Because one character was like war and street, right? Another character she was like society and like survival. And another one was like bonkers. It was absolutely insane. I think it was like charm and something else. But
Yeah.
then they would tell me why, and if it made sense, I was for it. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Yeah. And it,
Yeah.
it is a rationale, it is a reasoning.
Mhm.
And it does help players role play to kind of
Yes.
go,
Yes, it does.
I'm gonna use we're in a military sort of surrounding. Can I use my warfare to
Yeah.
to kind of figure out if anything's amiss and sort of thing?
Mhm.
And you kind of go, fuck, that's a good way of
Right?
sort of angling it, rather than just having a static arrow perception.
I hate that. Yeah. No, players are brilliant. let your players be brilliant, because they are. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like a lot of people have got bad experiences with like the GM versus player system game trope thing. I thankfully have never that's not true. I had that once, but that not going to go into that. But but like, I knew that like going forward, that A was not the system, B it wasn't even the party, it's literally that person. That being said, like, let your players be baller.
I
They
do.
they got some great ideas up their sleeves. Also, be willing to say no sometimes, because
I
sometimes it can
I do think there are some systems which kind of help the player versus GM sort of mentality. And
Mhm.
they're the systems where the players have all the rules. They're the systems for me that the players have access to these
Mhm.
rules where it says the book says this, so thus
Yeah.
I can do that. Because then as a GM, a lot of your job is having to say no.
Mm.
And you know, it does I don't think it's the entire reason, but I think it does kind of help
Yeah, I think,
promote
to be
that sort of
honest, yeah,
mentality.
anytime a player can get their hands on a book that has, I guess, rules or whatever in it, you're gonna have the the possibility of having that person's like, well, actually, oh well, the book said, like, okay, well, you know
But
what?
it's not so much they get their hands on the rules, it's the rules are very specific.
Right, right. No,
The
that's fair.
rules are very much like, I mean,
Hmm.
you get any sort of let's say a reaction in Pathfinder Second Edition,
Yeah.
you have a trigger.
Yep.
What has to happen
Hmm.
for that to be pulled for you to be able to pull this off?
We had this situation in Fabula with that. Actually, we were playing a game of Fabula, and it wasn't like a bad situation, it wasn't a toxic situation, but in the end of the game, we had one of the players go like, oh well, the book said, and I'm like, I love Fabula, but Fabula has rules in it. Fabula has very specific, this means this means this
Fabula
means this.
Fabula
Yeah.
is Fabula
So
is, has that sort of element to it that
yep.
is very akin to Pathfinder and akin to
Yeah.
D&D,
Yeah.
where there is a level of system mastery that you need
Yep.
to kind of go, okay, this works with this, and this kind of builds this, and thus I am
Exactly.
creating the better character.
Yeah.
But in Fabula, I kind of give it a pass because of its inspiration
Mm.
of it being from the JRPGs, which that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, it makes sense for Fabula.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm building a fucking amazing character.
I know you are. Madonna. I'm looking forward to seeing that again.
Yeah, I mean, she's just gonna get more and more batshit insane. Um, uh,
As she should. As she
squishy
should.
as squishy as fuck. She's gonna need protecting because oh,
Ah,
she
I
is
don't
she is
know.
she ain't strong. She is not strong.
Yeah, but
She is
nothing's hit her yet either.
she's a glass cannon. She is
Yeah.
100% a glass cannon. You know, just to do that level of damage, but at the same
Yeah,
time, anyone sneezes on her and she's gonna
that's
fucking
fair.
drop like a sack of shit.
I'm trying to, have I ever built a glass cannon? I don't think I have. Have I? Oh yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Kind of. Kind of. I Mutants and Masterminds, I had a teenager. I don't play younger characters that often, but this one I did. Piper, she was like 17-year-old genius. She built her own mecha suit type situation, power suit character. Um, because of her personality and because I am very much so like I will play the character I've built, not the stats that I have built.
Yeah.
She came out of her suit a lot. So then you got
Mm.
the 17-year-old kid running around on a mission field basically, and
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, she got shot far too many times out of her suit.
All right, so we're just going to take a quick moment here to say hey hello to our partners for this evening.
Yes.
You know, because we do have some support from people.
Mhm.
So I think it is quite important to say a quick hello to them. First of all, 13th Moon Games. It's a family-run indie game company out of Wyoming, USA that created the tabletop role-playing game Covenant Crucible. It's a game of modern-day witchcraft. If you can imagine the John Wick movies and the last Witch Hunter movie got together and had a really pretty baby, Covenant Crucible would be it. If you want to learn more, check them out on Instagram and maybe even join their official Discord game. We've also like to mention Crossing the Nerdverse. So step into a universe where fandoms collide. Welcome to Crossing the Nerdverse. It's your ultimate portal to all things geeky and glorious. Whether you're into comics, gaming, or sci-fi, they've got you covered. Discover exclusive interviews, epic debates, and insider tips from your favorite creators. Join the adventure at crossingthenerdverse.com and unleash your inner nerd. Embrace the passion, celebrate the culture, Crossing the Nerdverse, where every fan finds their place. And if you want to see more from Crossing the Nerdverse, stay tuned because Critting the Nerdverse, our Halloween edition, will be releasing in as soon as I can edit it.
I was just about to ask if you had Halloween plans, like gaming Halloween plans.
Yeah, we already kind of did them. Already
Okay.
kind of did it. With Critting the Nerdverse. For those of you who haven't been keeping up, the Santa's elves, after their Christmas heist, went to a Valentine's Day based sort of city. They did a heist there, and now there's a Halloween twist on it. Which...
I love that. I love that. I love season games. I'm pulling together Mutants Masterings game that is actually based off of seasons and holidays and shit, and it's turning out really good. But
cool. And also later tonight, because I fucked up the scheduling, we are dropping our latest episode of Inmates.
Yes. I think
so
gosh, we're close to filming the mid finale, the series finale, season finale, something. Like
I think
it's
that's
coming
gonna
up.
Be that's gonna be next week. I think we're gonna be recording that.
I think so.
So yeah, we've got one recording next week and one the following.
Yeah.
But yeah, so check out Inmates.
That is
it's gonna be it is phenomenal. A lot of character development in this one.
Yeah. Team Crash. Everybody's Team Crash. Everybody's Team Crash.
Everybody's Team Crash. So when we started talking about mechanics, the other topic I wanted to kind of broach tonight, because of the season we're in, I think we've got to do it.
What?
I don't want to talk about games so much as opposed to mechanics.
Okay.
What are your favorite spooky mechanics in games?
Oh, you're gonna have to make me think about that. You go first, so I can think.
I'm sure people in the chat will be able to afford us some suggestions because
spooky mechanics.
Yeah, mechanics that are designed for not necessarily horror games, but to add a horror twist into games. Okay, I mean, like for example, this is just off the bat, Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu's sanity mechanics, for example.
Okay.
You know, that bad shit happens, you have to roll sanity to represent how well you're holding it together. And in Delta Green, I can't really speak too much for Call of Cthulhu because I haven't played it that frequently. But in Delta Green, you start with a sanity score and you have a breaking point.
I don't think I've ever played a game with a specific mechanic built for the suspense or the horror. Now, granted, I've had DMs that have taken normal mechanics and twisted them into stuff that I'm like, holy shit, this is nerve-wracking. Like will saves in Mutants and Masterminds. Shout out to Connell for fucking turning those into disgustingly horrific things. Because you'll think you're fine because there isn't a meter. There's not a like, oh, I made or failed that. He'll ask for will saves throughout the game. Yeah. And you'll think you're fine. And then at the end of the game, you realize you're not fine and you have not been seeing things correctly and you just accidentally murdered someone. Like, pisses me off.
No, but I mean, that's the sort of shit I'm thinking of.
It's like the unspoken roles. Like I've not played enough suspenseful games where they have mechanic you can actually see like a chart or a skill or a scale, but like any game or GM that can pull off something that is normal and twist it into fucking terrifying, hats off to them because that's brilliant.
a mechanic I really enjoyed was when we played The Darkest House last week.
Oh yeah, please tell me.
So The Darkest House is a campaign by Monty Cook Games, and it is designed for you to get any character from any campaign from any system and literally drop them in there.
Love it.
And you play with that character with just a very different dice mechanic, right?
Okay.
So whether it's D&D, whether it's Pathfinder, whether it's Delta Green, whether anything, we use Monster Arts, but it can be anything.
Yeah.
Your character has a rating. So I'm assuming, I haven't read it, but I'm assuming that the rating is dependent on how powerful your character is. So like a level 20 character from a D&D game would have a higher rating than a Delta Green agent, for example.
Okay.
But so the mechanic is simple. The mechanic is very straightforward. You roll 2d6
Mm-hmm.
and add your rating. That's it.
Okay.
If your rating's 4, 2d6 plus 4, and that determines success or failure. However, there is a third dice, which is a different color.
Mm-hmm.
When you roll your dice, the 2 dice that you do for your rolling, if the third dice is higher than either of those, the house gets to act.
Oh, I love that.
Because the house is working against you. So I'll get my 2 dice. Let's say the blue one is the house dice, and I will roll this. In this case, the house acts, and something will happen. There'll be an event.
I love that.
It is phenomenal because everything you do, even if you succeed, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are safe.
Yeah.
So you've always got this. The only time that you can breathe safely is if you roll your dice and just kind of go, oh, the house doesn't act. Thank fuck for that. And when the house acts, it fucking acts. It's not.
Oh, man.
It's not just you see something out the corner of your eye. It's no. You see a family of faceless people sit down on a sofa and scream at you. And you have to roll a will save. And, you know, it is fucking horrifying. And I love it.
All right. Okay. I'm here for it. That sounds good.
That was a really cool mechanic.
Yeah. Like, I see pros and cons to it, but that I like that. That could be fun.
It is, and it gives you it gives you the sort of sense that nothing you do is 100% certain or 100% safe. You know, you can roll really well, but if that dice is higher, it may just mean your death.
That's like we had. This comes back around to tabletop role playing games. I promise. Someone had made a Sims mod, okay, and it was a zombie Sims mod, and they created a zombie house, and they created every Disney princess character in a Sim, like the video game. And they each had different survival rating stats for surviving against zombies, and they would do these like live streams of this thing. Someone turned that into a game. Someone actually made like but it reminded me of that game slightly because it wasn't just like, oh, roll your dice to hit the zombie or whatever. It was literally a like every time they rolled, if they like, there's a disadvantage towards survival. Like it wasn't against the house, which sounds way fucking cooler, but it was very much like, okay, if this happens in your roll, then like the next time you roll or survive, you have some sort of weird disadvantage or event take place and stuff. It's like I love those kind of games where it's like there's no stagnancy to it. You know, it's like no matter what happens or what doesn't happen, something still happens. I love it. I'm here for it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, just sometimes you get a mechanic which is so well done. I mean, again, going back to the sanity mechanic in Delta Green, you know, you roll your sanity. You start out with sanity 70. You're a sane, well put together person.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you roll sanity, even if you succeed, you're still going to take that point.
Yep.
Point of sanity. So that 77 soon will become 70.
That's actually
and it will get lower and lower to the point that you are losing that thing that holds onto reality. And obviously, the lower the score, the more you're going to fail. And it's kind of like a snowball. And it does create this sense of dread. You don't look at your hit points in Delta Green. You don't, you know, you've got them, you know, and things can kill you outright, but you don't really look at them. You look at that sanity because that is what is going to potentially end your character, not necessarily death. But, you know, if your sanity reaches 0, your character belongs to me.
See, and that's I feel bad for anybody who has to take care of my characters. We joked about that one time about how like you can lose characters in different games and stuff. And I remember speaking to a friend who was like, I never want to take who was it? It was another player at our table who was like, I never want to play a game like that because if I ever have to control someone else's character, I don't want that mess on my hands. I was just like, ooh, harsh. Accurate. Very
That's
accurate, but
that's
harsh.
kind of that's kind of like my absentee rule. So in a game, because I was playing with casino workers,
Yeah.
and you know their schedules and my schedule, because I was working there at the same time,
Mhm.
all over the place. So it
Oh
was
yeah.
like, okay, so you know we're gonna basically implement Scar of Destiny, which means if you're not there, there's no questions asked. We'll just carry on. However, if you opt to get NPC'd by somebody, your character is fair game.
Hmm.
If you say, look, no, okay, Dave, run my character. Cool. Any protections that your character may have are gone. If
Yeah.
that character dies, he dies or they die
Yeah. Hmm.
because you were given a choice and you decided to. And it happened. It actually happened at the game where somebody was running someone else's character and they got them killed.
Yeah, I don't I gotta find out a way to deal with absent players because it doesn't happen often, but it's gonna start happening more often. And I don't like the way our table's handling it now. The way Connell handles it is the way Connell handles it, and that's fine. I don't like the way I have been handling it. There's one time where like I had the character run off for a legit reason. It made sense in the story and in character. And then like when they came back and I kind of like played it in and it was fine. Not my favorite, but it's fine. And
Hmm.
then the other one, it was like we were just it was there. Like that character was there, even though not really. Like we just kind of pretended they were along for the ride and like whatever. And again, it was like, I just don't like it. I don't want to
There is
like play someone else's. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what I want to do with it.
there is a. I'm just trying to bring it up now. See if I can find it on. Yeah, I mean DFF. Oh, D20 PFSRD. So many ads. So many ads. Click
Ads
away.
from hell.
So many ads. So this is one that we learned about when we were playing back with in our first game. The GM
Okay.
said, a deity has come down and they have given you this. And that Pathfinder in first edition had what they called metagaming
Mhm.
artifacts. And this is the one that we were using. It is great. And I've kind of taken to using it in a lot of games where I know people are going to be in and out, as it were.
Yeah.
So let me bring it up. Okay, so it is the Scar of Destiny. All right.
Oh, nice.
This scar appears
Okay.
on a specific individual's at birth or as a result of a powerful but unexplained magical confluences. Anyone with this mark is untethered from reality and might step out of existence at any moment for indeterminate periods, possibly forever. All of that individual's possessions vanish with them, although occasionally specific items, seemingly of the mark bearer's choosing, are left behind. When and if an individual reappears, he is unharmed and has no knowledge of where he was, only a vague idea of how much time has passed. Such individuals typically reappear near others who bear the mark. So basically, it was an in-game reason for
Huh.
people to not attend. And I thought it was a really nice touch because it is written by Paizo.
I'm not against that completely.
No, it is. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it's a really. There was another one about like metagaming items. See if I can find them. They're
Well, I
actually
mean,
pretty cool.
like even just that specifically isn't a bad idea because like the player that I'm about to start losing more frequently is a paladin, so that would kind of make sense. Like,
Like so they had four metagame artifacts. The Scar of Destiny being one, the figurine of the concealed companion. In its natural form, the figurine of a concealed companion looks nothing more like a fist-sized hunk of distinctly coloured clay, and that was to avoid players having to always account for their animal companions.
hmm,
So you could just kind of go, right, my animal companion's here, and it's not. Again, it's a metagame artifact.
interesting. I
Right,
might
let's find
implement
another.
something like that.
What else was there? Hourglass of Transfiguration. Whoever breaks this crystalline hourglass blacks out for 24 hours. During this time, no power can reawaken her, as she is gradually swapping places with another version of herself from some other place, a parallel dimension, an ideal concept of the gods, an impossibly distant time, or the like. If a PC breaks the hourglass, that PC's player may completely recreate her character, rerolling statistics, changing race and classes, altering feat and skill selections. So again, if you have we've all done that where we built a character that we thought was going to be awesome and then kind of gone, well, this is shit.
Yeah. Yup.
And then what else did they do? And then
that is why I'll probably never play a monk again in any game.
No, that's fair. And then the last one was the Sliver of the Amalgam Mind. I think that is to allow players to kind of have knowledge of things when their characters aren't there.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, I thought these things were quite cool, especially, I mean, obviously we always use the Scar of Destiny.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That would work in character and out of character. You just said something about like because people have an idea of what's going on in game. That is the downside of any time like a player bails, is like, okay, so now you got to catch them up on everything that just happened last session.
Yes.
Which most of the time I have the characters do in person or in character. That's usually how I do it. I've had a couple of times where it was so vast that I was like, I don't know if I let the characters recap it would take the whole session. I was like,
I mean, for Impossible Landscapes, I've kind of just implemented a rule of, if we're not all there, we're not playing. We'll play something else.
There you go.
The reason being, because it is so shifting.
Yeah.
That if you miss a session, you'll be lost. And
Yep.
no amount of explanation and no amount of recap is going to give you the same experience.
Exactly.
So that's why we've got our Blades in the Dark campaign as a backup. So if 3 people turn up and 1 can't, right, fair enough, Blades in the Dark, let's do it.
Yep. And that's almost where we're getting at with my table, is that most time I'll run anyways, not a problem. Yeah. But lately, just because of how the story's been progressing, it's getting to that point where it's kind of like, okay, you can't bail when you're in the middle of combat and then expect us to go on without you. Like, we could, but then what the hell, man? Like, so I am actually thinking about like Household being my filler game.
Yeah.
We'll see. Everybody loved their characters enough. They're like, can we keep these? Like, that was supposed to be one
thing I found with especially Pathfinder doing like players jumping in and out is that it did unbalance combat massively. So if you had a combat that went over 2 sessions, one player was there for part of it, but then for the not there for the first. When they came back, obviously everybody else has already consumed resources. They've had, they've been hits, they've anything. Whereas this, all of a sudden, comes this wizard full of spell slots, and just decimates everything. And
my god!
I figured if I were to do that again, I'd have to find a way to mitigate that, or just kind of say you'll be in when the combat finishes. But even
you're halfway out. Like, even take it down half your resources.
Even halfway through, even after combat, if they're halfway through an adventuring day, everybody else is burnt out, and all of a sudden,
I can guide us home with my magicalness. No, you fucking can't.
So I would have to find a way to mitigate that.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, the one reason I never implemented it, and I probably won't, but one thing I decided I'd would be just roll a percentile dice. That's how many resources you lose.
See, I don't know if that would go over well. At least with my table, because I feel like...
But these are the things that you discuss before the campaign starts.
Yeah.
And kind of go, this is the rule. It's fine if you can't make a game, but when you come back, you're rolling a percentile. If it's 90, fucking, tough shit.
Right. Yeah.
If it's 10, fucking great. But it will kind of balance things out slightly.
Yeah. Yup. And I hate it because, like, my campaigns, no matter what system, it could be the crunchiest system ever. My campaigns are very story driven, very
Yeah.
character driven. Like, my players make the story. Yeah,
Mm.
I've got like the real world story going on, but like they are driving that story. So when I have players that miss so much, it's which I don't. Honestly, they don't. They actually are very, very, very loyal table. But I just have one. I have one that is starting to like fail a lot. And I'm like, dude, like this wasn't like I'm a random adventurer going together with a party of adventurers. Like each character has such an important part of the story that it's like I don't want to like make yours less important, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you're not there, when you don't know what's going on, like how do you balance the fairness of making sure that person has fun and also like, hey, the other people should be like not suffering because you're
Yeah.
not there.
No, I think there has to, I mean, not in a punishing
Yeah.
way, but I think there has to be a cost
Yeah.
for not showing up to a session.
Yeah. I agree.
Not necessarily as punishment, but
No, but to balance the to
balance
balance the
things out,
scales.
and
Yeah, like yeah. No, I agree with you
because if
100%
not,
there.
you every time you have a long rest, miss the first couple of sessions, then come back and save the day, sort of thing.
Yep, absolutely.
But anyway, I think that's about all we've got time for tonight.
All right.
So it's great to see you. It's great to have you
Yeah,
back.
it's good to be back. It's only going to get better from here. I'm super excited. A lot more gaming, a lot more art. It's going to be fun.
Yay, more gaming. That's what we need.
Yes.
So do you want to tell people whereabouts they can kind of find you on Tinterwebs?
Yeah, Threads is where I hang out. Instagram is where I post a lot of random shit, and TikTok. And it's Atlas Ursa. Atlas like the wait. Yeah, Atlas like the Titan, Ursa like the bear. I almost said Atlas like the bear because I've been doing that in WoW like all week. Like I'm a bear.
Fair enough. As for me, you can find me at Natural Juan at Dice.camp on Mastodon. You can find me at Natural.Juan on Threads, which is where I hang out the most. But I've been getting more into Blue Sky as well. I'm too legit to crit on there. I'm also too legit to crit on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. I'm behind most of the social media, so if something
all of the social media,
if something happens, but we piss you off, it's me.
It's John.
It's not Atlas. It's me, and I thoroughly enjoyed doing every second of it.
Yep.
But I also want to thank everyone in the chat that's come along to join us. We know it's the time of the change of time hasn't been massively easy. Because over there it's like midday for you guys, and
right? Yeah,
people got shit to do.
People do
but
things.
We
really
appreciate you kind of joining us and keeping us company. If you like what we do and you want to see more, give us a like, subscribe to our channels, follow us on the social medias, tell your friends about us, do whatever you can to kind of support and help us grow, because we love the community and we want to grow with it. But most importantly of all, I want to thank each and every one of you who's taken time out of their busy day to listen to two idiots waffle on about tabletop role-playing games. Thank you very much. Good night.
Waffle, waffle, waffle.
All right. Okay.
I
done.
have caffeine today, and I just realized it.
I've had a lot of caffeine today.
Oh my god!
I've been at work, so
like literal midstream. I'm sitting here going, "What is happening? What is happening?" Like, oh my god, I haven't had caffeine today. Like, I felt it. I was like, "What is happening? Like, what is going on in my body?" I'm like, "What is wrong with me?" Like,
oh yeah, I mean, when I don't have caffeine, I am cranky. Apparently, we're still live.
Are we still live?
But not according to thingy. Not according to.
Oh.
All right. So if we end the stream...
Well, if we are still live, okay. John doesn't know how to do it. Well, that's weird because recording is uploaded.
Recording's uploaded. A recording has finished. That is weird. Because I've even got the red button saying "Go live."
We are live. We are still on YouTube.
I'm gonna have to cut this off at the end of YouTube.
I don't know. I think we should keep it. This is entertaining as hell.
Yeah, I will end the stream though. Guys, thank you ever so much for joining us. I've got shit to do. And yeah, I've got a partner coming round soon. So
Oh yeah, I totally said hi.
bye. I will do. All right, take care, guys. Bye.
Oh, that's hilarious. I wonder why it was still streaming.
I have no fucking clue.